Our next storyteller has been on the stage a few times. I've never seen this man without a smile, whether it's at a funeral, or injecting life into Ultimate Frisbee in Portland, or bringing back, rising from the ashes, Stonehenge music in Grand Maine. Tonight he's got a story for you. Please welcome Alex Posey.
You've all heard this one before. I bet most of you in the room have told your own miserable version of it. If you haven't, you've heard your friends tell it. Doesn't matter if it's 151, maybe tequila, Long Island iced teas. You know where I'm going with this. All that matters is never again. Well, my story, a little more redemption to it. I have a story of perseverance, hard work, good old-fashioned stick-to-itiveness. When my daddy brought me up to work hard and play hard. And he taught me if you play so hard that it seems like your job, you better work your ass off on the back end to make things right. So it was the summer of 1979, just gotten out of 5th grade. I know what you're thinking, that seems a little weird. To put it in context, I started smoking weed in 3rd grade 2 years earlier. So by 5th grade, I wasn't a big drinker, I was more of a stoner, but I was, turns out it is the gateway drug. Who knew? So I had my friends Alec and Mark come over to spend the night. Mark was offered to pay $20 to come hear this freaking story yet again, all these 46 years later, thank you. They come over to sleep out, and sleeping out meant we didn't have a tent, so we would just sleep out on the back porch, which just meant wait until Dad goes to sleep so you can go run around town and raise hell, do whatever 11-year-olds do in the 70s in the neighborhood. So a few days earlier, I had stolen a bottle of wine and a bottle of delicious Passport Scotch from my grandparents who lived across the street. That's another story for another time. But once we waited however late till we trust Dad's not going to come out and watch us anymore, we went out behind the trees, out towards the Dole Company, and the 3 of us sat down, cracked a bottle of red wine, hoping I didn't grab one of the 48 Chateau Latours from his wine cellar or a Rothschild, but I had no idea. I wasn't a big connoisseur at 11. But the 3 of us split this bottle of wine in fairly short time, and we're putting a good buzz on, hanging out. And then I turned to them, and I turned to Mark and Alec, or as I would call them now, lightweights, to see if they wanted to drink the bottle of Scotch, and they're like, nah, dude, I'm good on the Scotch. So, being the big kid I am, I decided I drank not half a bottle, that'd be exaggerating, but like that much of the quart of Passport Scotch, chasing it with warm Diet Pepsi from a 2-liter bottle I'd taken from my house. Yes, I just threw up a little in my mouth. 46 years since it happened. But so I drank this Scotch, and 3 of us like, what are we going to do now? What do you do when you're 11 and shit-faced? And Mark came up, I'm pretty sure it was Mark, came up with a perfect idea. Let's go to Kim Bennett's house. Kim Bennett being the smoking hot 6th grader that lived on the other side of town. Back in this day, we couldn't text her, we didn't have phones, we we're not going to call her on her landline. So we just decided to walk over to Kim's house. We went and threw the booze bottles across the street in the bushes to hide those, make sure I didn't screw that one up later. And we start walking down Fountain Street. Her house, I actually Googled it a couple days ago. It's about 1.2 miles, 25-minute walk for a sober adult. Didn't have a little icon for the drunken 5th graders. But I to this day, I can picture the 3 of us walking down Linden Street with like arm in arm, like a combination of the 3 Stooges meets the Wizard of Oz, drunk on your ass, just spinning around, laughing, having the best time. Except that when you're 11 and you're running around in the middle of the night, anytime you see car headlights or a porch light or any sign of normal adult humans, you gotta run and hide. Stumble and hide in this case, go off in the bushes, whatever. So we're just having a ball. Go down Linden Street, take a ride on Kenduskeag Ave, so this will come back in a few minutes, 35 mile an hour, double yellow, much busier road. Go down past Alec's house, cross the bridge, and we get past Beth Adelman's house on the right, and there's this huge field. We're almost to the garden, so we can go find our friend Kim and knock on her window and see what happens next. And I get about halfway across this hayfield, and the world starts spinning, and I start puking. We saw this one coming, right? And who knows how long I was down, but when I finally stopped puking, got my shit together, I realized, like, I'm not going anywhere. I need to take a nap. You know, I was like, Mark, Alec, like, you guys go on without me, go back home, you can go to my house, I'll meet you in a while. And they were like, dude, we're not gonna leave you passed out drunk in the middle of the field. And I was like, I'm not stupid. I can act like a normal human. I know where we are. I know where I live. And I'm not going anywhere now. And I don't want to ruin your night. And they're like, okay. So they took off. They took off. Went back home. Left me there for God knows how long. I finally wake up. Realize where I am. What the situation is. And I realize that I don't have my glasses on. I'm blind as a bat. Coke bottle glasses. Thankfully farsighted so I could see, but I needed my glasses. And I start reaching around on the grass to find them. And I quickly remember this is where I'd been puking last I remember. And I was like, I just can't do it. I'll find them tomorrow. I'm in a 4-acre hayfield, and I'm between that street light. Yeah, I'll come back here and get them tomorrow. Start walking home. And I go up Kenduskeag Ave. Who knows, must be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever at this time. I get up to the top of Kenduskeag Ave, right across from Alec's house, who's sleeping back at my house. It's 35-mile-an-hour road, and I need another break. I just can't make it. So I find a good hidden spot. Right on the side of the road, it turns out, there's a big ditch. We call it a culvert. And there's bushes around it and stuff, and nobody's going to see me here. So I lay down on the side of the road and roll into this ditch, land on my back, splash! There's like an inch of water. It's a culvert on the side of the road. There's water running through it, which I didn't know. And looking back on it now, I was like, I shit you not, I'm 11 years old, passed out in the gutter on the side of the road at 1 o'clock in the morning. Crazy. I lay there, fall asleep on my back, managed to not throw up and suffocate myself to death. And I get up and start walking home later. And I'm going back down Linden Street, and I realized I've got a shortcut. If I cut through the Dole Company field, I can cut off the angle of the block I'm taking, and it's our family property. I know this field well, but there's trees, and it's not just an open field. And I'm just like, you got this. You can persevere. Just do this. You got to get home. And there was a street light on top of the barn up at the Dole Company, and I'm like, just focus on that light. Keep walking. Don't stop until you get there. You can do this. I make it through the field. Get back home, I get to my porch, and there's nobody there. Oh, I look inside, they're inside the family room, they went to sleep in my living room. Screw it, I'm gonna go up and go to bed, get a good night's sleep. And I get up to my bed, and for the only time in my entire life, I puke inappropriately. Didn't make it to the bathroom, didn't make it to a bucket, didn't make it to the bushes. I puked all over my beautiful 1970s blue shag rug. In my bedroom, nice mixture of Scotch and bile, leave it there marinating for the night, pass out. Wake up however many hours later, 7 o'clock in the morning. Here's where perseverance. I got shit to do. First thing I have to do is clean this mess up. The smell is gonna make me puke again, so I gotta get it out of my own room, but I don't want my parents to wonder why there's a smell of Scotch and vomit coming out of my bedroom. So I sneak down into the kitchen, get the paper towels and the 409 and one of those scrub brushes, whatever the hell you need, and go up, cover my tracks, clean all the mess up, get rid of the smell, put the shit away. That's not too bad. The heavier lift here, I got to explain how I lost my glasses last night. I got to make up a story right now that not only is believable, but that doesn't involve going across town in the middle of the night because we're supposed to be sleeping on the porch, not going crazy. And I know my dad is going to want to come with me and go try to find my glasses. So thinking fast on my feet, I'm like, I'll tell him we were playing hide and seek down a couple houses down. That's not too unreasonable. He knows we're kids, we run around at night. And so I just make up this story that's based on reality, because when you're bullshitting your way out of trouble, it's really important to lie as little as possible and have a foundation in the truth so you don't get caught and they circle back. This comes back in many later stories. But so I make up the story that I was running around by Adelman's house, and I went around the corner and they flew off my head into the pine tree and the bushes, and I couldn't stop running because I was being chased and I didn't want to lose the game, so I had to go. talking on my ass, but I mean, he's a dad, and you're not assuming that your 11-year-old is covering for his drunken revelry the night before, so he's a little more trusting. But just as we get to the line of trees, I see it. The wine bottle that we went and stashed so that it wasn't in my yard, I took it over and I walked him, and I'm like, shit, hey, Dad, let's just, maybe it's over here, and I'll distract him. Managed to distract him, get away with it, and I'm like, I don't know where they could have gone. How are they not here? This is crazy. We finally give up, turn around, and we start walking back home. And I realize that for now, the second time in my life, certainly not the last, I find myself in the just most absurd, hair-raising of situations. Stay calm, never give up, and use my words. And I got away scot-free.
I like cozy.